Magetsi ayenda. Magetsi sehambile sizathini manje? Mama Bikere, seliphekile yini? Bring the phone. Unza iphone tione kunobika ukitchen uko. Magetsi futhi hey. Zvakaoma. Kunzima lapha. Salwanani Makadi, hello and welcome to my channel, kayasgogo. Thank you so much for coming back and keep the subscriptions coming. Subscribe, comment, and share, like the videos so that more people can enjoy and conversate with us. Magetsi ayenda, mvura ayenda. Amagetsi sehambile. Amanzi sehambile. Thathanini izigubhu amanzi engakahambi ligcwalise. Thora izigubhu mzeze mvura. Isathi yayenda. Magetsi ayenda. Mama Bikere, kade seliphekile. You know, those are the conversations that we go through at home. You know, I'm thinking of home so much that some of the things that happen, this is why we come back to talk about returning. Is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? Again, we gotta say it over and over. It is an individual choice. Some of us don't feel like having electricity every day, having water flowing from the taps every day is what would keep me here. The plan is when you go home, put in place systems that will make your stay in the country better. Your solar system, for your magetsi, for your electricity, your water, whether you have a borehole or you have tanks, you know, those JoJo tanks that you will have on your property to be able to have water in the tank. When it comes, you fill it up, and then you have some flowing water in the house. My husband and I, actually, I'm more comfortable with having my buckets. I really don't care. But Papa, those buckets, he doesn't like them at all. So we do have JoJo tanks. When the city water comes, we have that JoJo for the house filled up. We also have to make sure that we do something about improving our rainwater collection. That is my aim. That is my goal. We do need to do rainwater collection at the property. You know, when the rain comes, we fill up the tanks, we use it as much as we can while it's still there. And then when it's gone, actually between the months of maybe end of July right up to October, in Bulawayo, it's so hot that if you don't have greenhouses or some kind of system to help your plants to be able to survive the heat and the dryness, I think that is the time that I also would be taking a backseat with the small gardening that I do. And this is why I also do a lot of succulent plants for my flower garden, because then they are able to tolerate the heat in those very, very warm months and needing minimal care and water. Anyway, so let's talk. You know, we are trying to get some of you who are sitting on the fence to really see that you can return home if you do choose, and you can live there, you can survive. You also have to have had that plan. Remember, we've been talking about plan. Do you want to work? If you want to work, it's a definite no. There are no jobs. There are many, many other people that do not have jobs. And that is also the reason you left, because maybe you didn't have a job or it wasn't paying you well. Can you create employment for some people by starting a business? Indeed, you can. So many businesses have started in Zimbabwe. The biggest problem that I find is once somebody starts something, everybody wants to do the same. Yes, it is okay. This is why there's multiple restaurants out here in the Murikas, multiple car dealerships, multiple department stores. You name it. There's many, many brands that are in competition. What you need to do, what you need to plan, if that's where you want to go into that kind of industry, is to bring your game up. Make yourself unique. Bring something that will make people want to buy at your store instead of the one next door. There will always be many, many farmers. There will always be many, many clinics if the opportunity is given to you to open your own clinic. We need more of those clinics, yes. I think the desire to have our government work in such a way that us, the taxpayers, the countrymen and women and children, we benefit from the taxes, the little taxes that we give into the system. The desire is to see it work. But in the meantime, that gap remains. And there's someone who is bold enough to be able to go into that gap, do something to bring that service to the community. And this is where the business opportunities arise from. So some of us are happy being at home. The potholes are a nuisance. They're an irritant, damages to the car. You have to take all the necessary precautions. You don't speed in a street that you don't know, which is virtually every street in Zimbabwe having a pothole at one stage or the other. You also don't buy the fancy cars that require a lot of maintenance and the repairs that may or may not be available in the country. So that's what you do. You mitigate for those irregularities that you will find in the country. Anyway, moving on. The statistics, there's not very recent statistics from the Department of Statistics in the country to tell us how many returnees have come. But from Zimstat, as of 2023, they say that around over 300,000 people returned in the first quarter of the year, January to March. And then around, or maybe slightly over 600,000 between April and June of 2023. It doesn't state how they have returned, whether they have been sent across the border, especially from South Africa, because this is where most of us are. But they have returned home. Does it say that when they return, they stay or go back? No, it's just a number. So there is some traction, there is some movement of people making their way back home. The estimate of 2022 says almost 1 million Zimbabweans are dotted all over the world. The numbers being highest in South Africa, maybe followed by the UK, America, Australia, and the rest of the other countries in the world. There's insignificant numbers, but we are here. So we're out in the diaspora, but there is this back and forth happening. People leaving and some returning. Our concentration is for those that are choosing to return, because that's what we would like to see happen, for us to embrace more of what Zimbabwe offers and put a mark on the country, put a mark on the continent as a Zimbabwean, as Zimbabweans, and showing that, yes, the hardships are there, but we can make it work. You are not alone in thinking about returning to Zimbabwe. You are not alone in thinking about returning to any place on the African continent. There's very many people that are thinking that way, including our brothers and sisters, African Americans, who were taken away from the continent some 400 plus years ago. Some of them are choosing to go back to the motherland, to go back to where their ancestors were taken from. So the movement is there. Those who want to go to live, maybe spend some time in Africa, are doing so. And this is where we come in to say it is doable, it's possible. Yes, you are not walking into New York, you're not walking into London, but there are places that are quite livable. If you look at the political environment today, worldwide, there's a lot of unrest. There's a lot of people who are being kicked out from countries that they have lived for many, many years. So if your documentation is not in order, I think you're living with butterflies, jittery, because you don't know when they're coming for you. And that is such an uncomfortable feeling. So if you do have it in mind to move, even not necessarily because you are fearing being booted out, but just the desire to get back on the continent, by all means, do it. Do it. It can be done. What does it mean? What has it meant for some of us who have returned to the continent? You know, the peace of mind is beyond, I cannot explain it. My soul feels more peaceful. I'm a little less restless. I love the long sunny days, the very mild winters. I just feel a lot more grounded when I'm on the continent. I feel I'm not looking at the material things. I'm not looking at having a high volume of cars on the freeways. That's not what I'm looking at. I'm not looking at the lined streets with all these beautiful trees, the poles of electricity. That's not what I'm looking for. There's a certain element of peace that I get when I am at home. And for me, maybe it comes with aging. The hustle and bustle is no longer exciting to me. So it's the peace, the contentment of rising up to a beautiful sunrise and sitting outside to a beautiful sunset. Beautiful sunsets that you see on the continent. So that is it for me. I am slowing down, so maybe this is why it is more attractive. But even when you're young, I see a lot of young people that are hustling, that are working hard in Zimbabwe, in other countries. They're doing the best they can. They're going into real estate. Some are into mining. Some are creating many forms of other businesses. And you can do it too. You can join them. You know, for some of us, sometimes it is just that reality of seeing someone that you had a dream of returning to the continent with you get shattered by health, by death, by, somebody changing their mind. For someone, they may get even more determined to come. But for others, then that dream just fizzles simply because the contemplation of moving back has taken too long until you finally give up on that dream. I have seen it, I've heard about it, and it is such a sad thing because deep within your soul, that longing will never go away. You will always feel it. You will always think you should have done it. And for me, I was on the same page with Kulu. We both wanted to go home. And other than me coming back and forth to see the grandchildren, Kulu does come, but he minimizes his stay here because his heart, his soul, his being is on the motherland. He chooses to be there, and he's doing good. I'm looking forward to getting back soon. They have been showing off Kulu in my other Sekuru. You guys have done me wrong. by showing all the good places that they have been going to eat. And here I am. Today I'm looking like the weather is good outside because I'm just trying to make myself happy. It's cold today. It's about 3 degrees. And it's going to get cooler moving forward. And there they are basking in the sun, eating out. And I'm sitting here thinking, next couple of days, I won't be able to even take a 10-minute walk before I feel my face freezing. So I'm looking forward to getting back on the continent. Now, when you get back on the continent, be very careful of what you do with your money. Don't get too excited and spend, because before you know it, it's all gone. And you know what? This tendency of our amas is zethu, our fellow countrymen, they have the tendency to fold their hands when they see you. Because ndimi mari mali kakhulu ande. And when we go there, sometimes we do show off for sure. You know yourselves. So people, take a back seat, and they just want you to sponsor their joy. Careful about that. Remember, you want to live there, right? For a long time. You want to make your dollar stretch. So be very careful of how you spend. Even when you're doing your projects, people in Zimbabwe, unfortunately, have become a little less honest. Crooked. Vamatsotsa tiri kunyeperana. Sebegabasela maqiniso nkhaya khona ngale. Vakunyepa, vakuchita. So find somebody that you work with on the ground who will direct you in the best way to get good product, good quality, workmanship, good, decent, honest people. You have to find someone. And some of us are grateful for the family and friends that have surrounded us, assisting and helping and guiding. It really helps you to not get swindled. And it has happened, trust me. There are people that have tried to pull a fast one on us because they see you from a mile away. Game changer. So they take advantage. And it's a very sad story because Zimbabwe, we dream of the Zimbabwe that we left a long time ago, where people were decent and honest and worked hard. And now people have been out of employment for so long, they've depended on the diaspora sending mari kumukuru. So they just go and line up. I'm not insulting, but that's the reality, guys. That is the honest truth. So they have been used to doing that for too long. And easy come, easy go. So you have to be mindful when you go home that that kind of nonsense is going to happen. So be cautious, be wary of who is telling you too many sob stories. I still advocate for us, each one lift one. Where there is need, let's come in, let's join hands, let's do something. Because most of us, you have to remember, we had a clinical instructor back in the day. For some of you, if you're watching and you're from the Harare School of Nursing, you remember clinical instructor ivavo vaiti amweni venyu anokanganwa kuti akauya ngemari yenzungu. My Manyika accent is not very good. But she used to remind us that don't forget that some of you were sent to school here by your parents, grandparents, the extended family, toiling in the fields, raising the money to send you to school. Through their corn, their ground nuts, their round nuts, they would sell them and send you to school. So when the occasion arises for you to lift someone, please do. Please do. I think we do need, and we are role models. Whether we like it or not, we become role models to the younger ones. So by showing them that hard work has put you where you are, and it's not by just waiting for somebody to send them money, it's by going to school, by making money through a business, that they too can do it. So even when you are holding your purse, when it's time to, I say, tithe, do it. It's a good thing. What are the things that you have to be mindful of when you are at home? Anything that you get involved with, do your due diligence. Everybody is ready to sell you a good story, a good business idea, but do your due diligence, do your own investigations, see if your comfort level is within that zone where you can swallow either some losses or some mishaps or some business misfiring. Don't just be persuaded into somebody else's idea. That is not the way to do things. You should have a roadmap of where you want to go, and also be prepared that if it doesn't work, you still have some plan to fall back on. Think about the things that will add value. Value addition. You know, we have so many madomasi. We have so many guavas, mangoes. All these things, when they are in season, there is an abundance. But you see all that produce going to waste because there is no value addition. And we haven't figured out, Vanwatema, how do we add value to these things so that in the months of May, June, right up to October, before we get the next rains, before we get the next fruits, how can we have those mangoes, maybe dried, maybe pureed, and be able to have a product that you can still get money out of by making sure they don't go to waste? We still haven't figured it out. There's too much waste of anything. The only thing that we do is mfushwa. And for most of us, we don't like mfushwa. Anzi and manushupika. This idea that when you do preserve food, you are struggling, you are poor. We need to clean off that mindset. I like Val, the retired procrastinator. Shout out to you, girl. Ngati gezei mudenya. Ngati isei dzimwe pfungwa musoro lapha ekhanda lapha kumele kunchinje. We need to change the way we think. We need to change the way we look at something. Value addition, that's a way of you creating employment, creating a source of income, and of course, also preserving food that you can extend eating throughout the year. You can self-sustain yourself. We are doing that at home. Chickens, right now, you know, I need to go back and do some fixing of one thing or the other. Because while I'm away, Papa just chills. He has done a small greenhouse for us. So apparently in this heat, he has been able to have a few greens in there because the plants are protected from the heat. So shout out to Kulu. Good job. Inkuku. Siyafuya inkuku. Tinochengeta huku zedu. We're trying to build a small orchard. The challenge, again, remains the water. But do something. Have a homestead, a small backyard sustaining garden, some few chickens. You can even have goats if you want, and have your own meat that you limit the amount of expenses because you are creating your own food security. So that's a good way of looking at it. You know, I think we need to mentor. We need to make it something that we incorporate into our returning. How can I help? Provided you just don't barge in and tell people what to do. If people are asking you or are willing to conversate or have an interaction with you, I guess that's another way of us giving back to the community. I would look forward to having conversations or, time to spend with other returnees and see how we can help. I am still looking at you all participating in the things that I have pointed out. Edith Opperman, the city of Bulawayo cleaning, and I have this school that is near and dear to me, which needs a new block of classrooms that we can participate. We all have some expertise in one thing or the other. If we all come together and do all these little projects here and there to give back to the community, it's so fulfilling. It occupies you, and you have something to look back and say, you know what? I came back home, I helped in doing this and that, and somebody is benefiting. It's not only your benefit, but the benefit of the greater community. I think we should step up to the plate, don't you think? Comment below. Give me a like if you think that's a good idea. And reach out to me so we can see how we can do this moving forward. Do not invest in something where you are not involved, you are depending on someone else to run it for you. Don't do that, guys. You need to keep your eyes open, your ears clean, so you can hear and see and participate. Always be part of what you are trying to do, especially when it comes to businesses. Don't just do a business from the armchair. It will come to bite you at some point. So that can't be overemphasized. Come back. Let's work on these projects together. Some of us really are not running to jump up and down. Relaxation is my aim. Traveling, enjoying, doing my little garden, my little chickens. If I have to sell a few veggies here and there, that's good. That's good enough for me for now. But am I open to participating in something bigger or greater than that? Of course, it will occupy me. But that's not the primary aim. If something comes up that I would like to participate in, for sure, I'll get involved. Keeps me busy. In a nutshell, the story remains, please come back home. Come join us. Let's see how we can, brick by brick, improve the lives of our fellow countrymen. You'd be hard pressed to find a Zimbabwean who doesn't have somebody who has needed to be lifted. And we do this by making sure that we are also participating in the story of rebuilding the country. I look forward to your comments. I'm asking for your subscriptions so my channel can reach more people. And let's share the content. Let's comment. And if you are also available to have a sit-down conversation with me, please do send me an email, and then we can make arrangements to do that. In the meantime, take care of yourselves wherever you are. I am looking forward to being back on the continent, running away from this cold. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.